What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mudpit. I'm glad y'all are here. Get ready for a good time. Stay past 11 minutes. If you're not, then you're stupid. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about good shit like parallel universes, Mandela, conspiracy theories, Marilyn Monroe's tits.
Are there any conspiracy theories actually surrounding her tits?
Yeah, because like she used to fuck a lot of reptilians in the government. That's why they killed her. And then they blew up Kennedy.
Is that actually a thing?
I actually feel like this is the podcast that I'm going to get assassinated for because the people aren't ready for the truth I'm about to drop.
That's Zach.
Oh, yeah.
That's Frank. Or
I'm Frank.
That's Josh.
I'm Josh.
And it's me.
Angela.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, so hit us with your truth bomb. Unless you want us to warm up to it.
Well, like, no, we can jump right in.
We could tease them with the foreplay and then drop the truth bombs on them.
We gotta do
we
it.
could just...
Boom!
We gotta fuck them hard.
I'll give a little bit of a tease. So, everyone's always talking about the Mandela effect. Like, everyone. Mm-hmm. I've heard it from so many people. And, like, I'm not, like, big into it. But, something I hear a lot is the whole, like, Queen song, We're the Champions.
Yeah.
At the end of it, everyone always remembers it as we are the champions of the world.
Yeah.
And it's not that. There's no point in the song in which that happens. But there is a song that does happen. And that's Crazy Frog's version of We Are Champions of the World. And frankly, I think it's the better version. But
by far,
the way that you can tell that is the collective memory of it is so ingrained with the Crazy Frogs version of it that they think that the original artist is the one who did it. But they're just posers.
Yeah.
Posers trying to be Crazy Frog.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Queen clearly ripped off Crazy Frog.
Yeah.
There is an alternate timeline that exists in which the version of that song that is normalized is the Crazy Frog version.
You mean an alternate universe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In an alternate universe, I'm Josh.
So
And I'm you.
Yeah. He's fat and white, and I'm black and skinny.
Here's the thing about like the Crazy Frog stuff is I absolutely love Crazy Frog. Just like when I was young, I had a Crazy Frog CD.
No.
You bought it, like you bought the album?
I didn't buy it. It was like I was 6. Like I can't buy albums.
You can get like allowance. Walk down to the CD store.
I didn't get allowance. Like I was given a crazy. That was what I was given. Was a Crazy Frog CD. It was like, here you go. That's what you get.
You were given that?
I was.
Your parents didn't love you.
I don't know if I was given it or I had it. I owned it. Like it
was just there.
It was there. Yeah. I don't know how. It could be future me.
This is a little off
Future
topic,
Crazy Frog.
but I have a Shrek 2 Party CD in my car, like right now.
We'll watch it after.
Okay.
I think I never hear anybody break down Crazy Frog like you did. So I think it's just destiny that you just had a Crazy Frog CD.
Well, like I've always like unironically loved Crazy Frog just because of that. Like I've always had it, and then I would always hear people say like, "Oh yeah, the whole we are the champions of the world thing. Like, isn't that crazy how people remember it that way?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, the Crazy Frog version. Like that's what it is." And like
Crazy Frog, the remix.
So okay, I'm gonna bring in Time and Crazy Frog because the video for Crazy Frog's Axel F. Personally, I think it's Crazy Frog's magma opus, and
like the original like video that like blew up on YouTube.
Yeah, the one where
absolutely
he's just riding around in an empty dystopian world,
ghost riding whatever.
Yeah, he's riding nothing.
He's literally ghost riding the whip.
Yeah, he's on the motorcycle that's not there. His dick's hanging out. Like that's the baddest motherfucker you'll ever see. And then Elon Musk is sitting there in his like robot van trying to catch him. But the thing about that video is like I've always been interested in just like stories, like things like that, and that video is so just dense with like Crazy Frog imagery. Like there's a scene where the Crazy Frog is riding his motorcycle and the song is ramping up to the highest point, and he's actually going up the side of a building, like going into heaven, just up
a
skyscraper, and that's when like the crescendo of the song happens, and then immediately from there he delves into the depths of the world. Like, he goes directly into the sewers, where he's still getting chased. But, like, that whole idea of, like, being able to go above and below. Like, you guys have heard the saying, like, as above, so below before, right?
Excuse my computer.
That's all right. It's AI
knows.
trying to talk to us.
Trying to chime in.
Yeah,
The
no.
CIA saying Zach, stop.
Yeah. Exactly. But, like, time is a funky thing, too, because we all exist in, like, linear time. We're all going forward. So, like, this moment that just passed, that will always exist then. We will always exist in that time and space just forever. Like, it
Yeah.
existed, it will always
it
exist. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
It's
everything,
there. We just have to deal with it.
every person who does exist, they exist in a point in time forever if they do exist.
In the now. if
In
you
the
will.
now, yeah. And it's interesting to see how the past kind of changes a little bit just in how you remember it. Like, our memories are just so bad. Like,
Memory is a very fickle thing.
Yeah, you don't even remember the actual thing that happened. You remember your memory over and over and over. That's why, like, if you say,
yeah.
and since I'm like, me and Zach talked about this, and he's like, we didn't talk about that. You said this, and I was like, no, I said this. But in the actuality, both of us are wrong.
yeah, he had that conversation with, like, a different person.
It's a concept. It's a concept of making a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yeah, it's like telephone.
It
with your
degrades the
own-
quality. Yeah.
Right. And then when you look at how you're going forward in time, you know, this is the crazy frog going up and down of, you know, time. He's transcending reality, really.
The first 10 minutes is just going to be crazy.
I know, that's what we said.
Yeah, dude. We got to get the truth
when we
out
make the money.
before, like, anything bad happens. Like,
Okay.
they need to know right off the bat.
Yeah.
So when you're going
So
forward into
that's
time, it's interesting how you can actually, like, change your own, like, existence. Like, even the way you perceive it. You can change it. You can change any. Like, right now, I could just whip my dick out and put it on the table, and you guys would see me way differently than you do now.
Not really. I mean, I don't think that would change anything.
I
For me,
You know, I wouldn't be surprised.
You're pretty
that's not
crazy already.
that's not out of character for you. I don't think. No, that's a lie. You went.
It's out of character, but I should expect it.
No,
But like,
you
I
wanna
know
break
what
it
you're
out right
saying
now?
though.
Yeah.
I don't want to put my
Okay,
dick out
because
right now.
it's like, sorry to derail you, but if you wanted to, I'd be more than happy.
We could
to
just put your
support you.
vinyl like right over the spot. Where
Oh.
No,
That's
no,
right.
Where is he, dude?
I'm good. I'm good. You see, like, the vinyl, like, I could have brought it,
yeah.
but I didn't. So now I have to live with that. Like,
Congratulations.
I've chosen the path of
Not bringing that
not
vinyl.
bringing my vinyl, so I gotta.
Now
deal
we
with it.
exist on a different world line. Thanks.
Yeah.
Exactly, and like the part of the reason this podcast is gonna fail is because of that. Like, I put us on the timeline where we're failing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you pretty much did. This is
It's-
definitely the beta timeline.
This is
The beta cuck soy boy timeline.
Beta cuck soy boy time.
dude. This is like the butterfly effect. You know?
Yeah.
Because like every like
One thing.
one
leads
thing
to
can
our downfall.
change the course of the rest of your life.
But
Because the person in the future who's going to cancel Zach is a huge Billy Joel fan. And if only that vinyl had been there to convince them that he had something that connected
Yeah.
Zach to him,
he would have some sympathy for me.
it would have sympathy.
But-
But because it's missing,
Here's what's even crazier to think is there is a timeline where I did bring it. And the reason there is a timeline where I did bring it is every timeline exists. The universe is infinite. There's an infinite amount of time and space.
let me throw something crazy in there. Because everything in the world started as a thought. Your thought manifested into something. Everything originated as an idea first.
Honestly, crazy.
Okay.
Because, yeah. Ideas do exist. Thoughts are manifest.
When
we
you
just
have an
have to
idea-
put it into action.
When you have an idea, do you have that idea or does it come to you? Like,
I think it comes to you. But back to the manifesting thing. I don't know if I really believe in all that, but I don't want this to sound bad, but I've literally gotten everything I've ever wanted in my life. When I was like 16, all the way till 18, I always wanted a Ford F-150. That was the first car I got. Then I wanted a Honda Accord, a BMW, and I looked at a Volkswagen, which is what I have now. I've literally gotten like every car I've ever wanted, and I think it's just because I'm a bad motherfucker. And I just manifest that shit.
Yeah.
You know? Because I know for a fact that I'm going to get rich.
You're
I'm
like-
going to get fuck you money, you know? And I'm going to buy every car I've ever looked at. I'm also going to get in really good shape. I keep saying that, and it happens for a while. I'll get like a taste of it. and then I just get fat as fuck again.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm
Because I
manifesting.
actually started yesterday morning. Woke up at like the butt crack of dawn and just started working out. And I haven't worked out like that in so long. When I was done with it, like my vision was all blurry and I was seeing like black circles. And I
Probably
just
drink water, bro.
I just,
No, dude.
no, I
You're doing it
drank
right.
water
You're doing it
and I
right.
immediately like threw up in my bathroom afterwards.
Yeah, you drink too much.
You're cleaning the shit out.
No,
You're
so
clearing-
back to working out. I'm like the worst. I was telling them I'm the worst advocate for a gym membership because I've been going to the UFC gym for like 2 or 3 months and I look worse than when I started. Because like I just pay like I used to.
There was an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
Where you actually went to the gym and committed. And
yeah.
But
And
when
now
we started
you're
the
a bad
podcast, you were
motherfucker.
jacked.
oh, I know, but like here's the thing, dude. Like I used to play UFC
Oh my
3.
gosh, there is so much carbonation in that.
I wanted to play UFC 3, and I was getting my guy all strong and turning him into a badass, right? And then Stefan Struve beat the fuck out of me and killed me, like ended my career. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this for myself. I did it a few times, and I realized that I can't get punched in the head too many times because I just don't like it, and I don't really.
I don't think anybody likes
I
it.
know, but like, some people do.
Dude,
but,
I
like,
love getting punched
I
in
do
the head,
kind of
man.
like it. Like I like
Want me to do
like
it right now?
fighting people. You can't do it
We
right
should
now.
just
No.
beat you up.
You can do it after the podcast.
Okay.
I used to let my little brother beat me up a little bit. Like after I started, I put on the gloves and I like just laid on my back and had him punch me in the feet a couple times, like just the body, the head, and everything. And then because I feel like no pain in the bottom of my
Just lay
feet.
down, like,
Yeah, I
like
just
spreading
I-
on you,
well,
and you're like, punch my
Yeah,
feet.
because I was laying on my bed and I was holding my legs up with like my arms, like because I can't like hold them up for that long, but they got
Punch my
attacked.
feet, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I have no pain in the bottom of my feet. I think it's because I did so many hillbilly hikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in an alternate universe, I'm like a UFC fighter, and
Well, here about the alternate universe thing and like you being in shape. In that other universe where you are in shape, are you still you? Like, do you have the same perception that you have now?
I don't think so because I think in an alternate universe, I'd definitely like be sane. You know, like I would just be like a normal guy.
Well, yeah, but like what's interesting is you say he's a normal guy, like that's why he's in shape, like he's just doing the,
Just your
the norm.
average Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just your average Joe. And then now you decide like, hey, you know what? I really want to like put in some action to do this. Like I
Yeah.
want to get in shape. There's gonna be a certain point where those two forms of yourself like collide.
Contact, yeah.
Because then there's gonna be that point where what happens in that universe might just like the future, like the past was different, but then the future goes in that one point, and then you guys are in the same boat. But there's also infinite other ones where there's other boats.
Yeah, because like it's so weird how like little tiny stuff. Well, not this is not like necessarily like a tiny thing, but when I moved out of California, from that guy to the New Mexico me are two totally different people. You know, like I look back in retrospect at that guy and I feel like I don't even know him.
Yeah,
You
me
know what I
from
mean?
40 years ago is a different person than I am.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
I know,
You
but it's like
change.
if I would have like if you stick into the same pattern of things, you know, like if you keep the same routine, like not only does
You're-
time seem to go faster because you get into the routine of things,
Yeah.
but like
yeah, no, just go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. But then like you might never change, you know, like you'll always be that version of yourself instead of like you
Yeah.
never get to meet your parallel universe self.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, your environment makes you.
Yeah.
So your environment molds your personality.
Well,
And I 100%,
Partially.
I 100% believe that. I don't. If I put you in a different
You are
environment
not
for
immune
like
to propaganda.
for like a year, you're gonna be a completely different person when you come back.
I will be a different person.
Just because
but-
you acquired more different experiences.
right.
Like you're gonna change regardless, but you're not gonna change the same way.
Yeah, like if we
as
put
you
you
as you would
as you
in
would.
a different area.
Yeah.
in Angelo's basement with all the crackheads, you're going to come out a different person.
you're gonna
Yeah.
come out a crackhead.
Yeah, you're gonna
That,
end up
that
like
kind of connects to like we were talking about last time about like our kids. Like we want them to like have the crackhead experience, but like we also want to like have them have good lives. And,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
There's like equal parts nurture and
Nature.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure,
nurture and
sure.
nature.
But like the thing is like if anybody like gets involved with like a different group of people, that's who you become because it's part of like fitting in. It's like goes back to like fucking what are those fuckers called? Neanderthals, like the tribes and shit.
Yeah.
Like
The hunter
What are they
gatherer.
called? The
hunting-
Neanderthals?
yeah, one of
Yeah.
the things. Yeah, like you want to fit into a tribe. You don't want to just like everybody nowadays wants to be like, oh, I'm a unique guy. Like, oh, that's great. But if we were hunting and gathering shit, I would leave you in the fucking river. Fuck off. You know, go pick that pine cone and jump the fuck off.
It's essentially mutations for the sake of mutations.
Yeah, you know,
Like we just want to see how far we can get with it.
I mean that's what happened with the oxalotls we put in the river. They grew into people.
There you go.
You
They're
know,
walking around.
They're out there. Look for it.
I have their number. They actually have the Verizon plan now.
That's insane.
I got them on speed dial. I check on them on Facebook.
So what do they think of Zach's crazy frog theory?
Dude,
They-
they
that's
are
why
the
the-
crazy frog.
That's why they left. Like they were like, dude, you gotta put us in hiding. You can't drop that shit with us around.
they're in Woodset.
But go ahead
Yeah.
and finish your thought with that. You were talking Ascension and the fall.
Well, that ascension and the fall is like that's kind of how I imagine going between the like your other self and then yourself kind of going together because you can go. Like you said, you can change your environment. Well, you said your environment makes you, but you can also change your environment almost everywhere. Like you can just leave.
Yeah.
Even if you're in a worse environment, you can still get from a different environment to a different environment.
Yeah.
And just the thing that I think makes humans special is the fact that we have like perception, like that we have consciousness to experience everything, like to experience our environment or then choose how we experience our environment because they're you can be in the same environment with two different people and they experience it way differently.
Like their outlook on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And perception varies from human to human, and that is the
Almost
number
infinitely.
one key to being aware of your surroundings. And I feel like unlocking the ability to call yourself a human is understanding that people have different perspectives.
And perspectives are formed by your experiences.
Yeah.
You know, if you grew up in like a household that like everything's like every tiny say if you grew up in a household that's very cushy, like something small might like set you off like crazy. But if you grew up in like some shit that's like hectic all the time, like someone leaving a cup on the floor might not matter to you, like at your job or whatever.
Yeah.
So-
it's like you mess up my order at a fast food restaurant. I'm like, it's fine.
I don't care because we used to work at
You
fast
could
food.
spit in my food, and I'd be like, what did I do? To
I would
make
be
you
like,
spit in my
cut
food?
out the middleman, spit directly in my mouth, and I'll chase it down.
There you go.
Because we freaky like that, Jack.
It's so gross.
It depends on who did it.
Dude,
If it's
spit
like-
is like...
So are you a spit giver or a spit receiver?
Dude, I hate
Giver.
spit.
Are
Dude,
you a spit giver or a receiver?
I'd rather give it because I would hate for it to be on me. I swear to God, I'll throw this on you. bro.
Spit giver or receiver?
I'm a spit connoisseur.
So you'll
So-
receive
Oh,
it.
you spit it in the
Yeah,
Like wine?
I spit it myself.
Class, huh?
high class, high fashion.
You're a
too.
man of culture as well.
High fashion too. He's got that Teddy Fresh on with the gold chain, bro.
Ooh.
Phenomenal.
Am I allowed to wear Teddy Fresh? Like, is that?
Yeah, but they'll sponsor us. They're on the downward spiral.
What does
anyway.
it say? My
Dude,
grandpa.
it's not sponsored by Teddy Fresh
Or
Wait, what is this?
or Starbucks.
My
or
grandpa
Monster.
passed, and all I got was this jacket.
damn, that's kind of
Hard.
fucked up.
That kind of
Yeah.
hits close to home. My grandfather passed, and I do have his jacket in my closet.
If I knew how to read cursive, that would have
Is
made me
it-
sad.
Is it tight?
Well, my whole goal is to like keep this until I'm a granddad and then die, so I can actually give it. And what's
No,
cool-
you're gonna
what's-
live, dude.
What's really cool is that like they're established in 2017, so like it says established 2017, whereas you see like other brands like established in 1601. Like no, you weren't. Like America wasn't even established. Shut up.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Buffalo's Trace Whiskey, our sponsor. I'm just
There's
kidding.
no sponsor to this podcast.
Dude, that would've been a
Dude,
good ass.
look, what we're showing all the sponsors out there is that we can segue. We can segue
we
like
can
a
segue
motherfucker.
Really.
If you can just get past some of the shit we said, then you'll be fine.
Now we'll
we
get
haven't said anything too controversial.
I mean,
Besides,
Zach-
Axel F. And
I'm pretty sure Zach said he wants his kid eating ass by the age of 6.
It
I didn't
wasn't-
say eating
That was the last
Yeah, and
episode.
that's in the
That was
past,
in the
dude.
past.
Come on,
Come
we're
on.
going in the future now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
we're
have
ascending.
kids. I got a vasectomy by then.
Dude, I'm trying to get
He's
over
a different man.
I'm a different man.
Okay.
You were in a
time
new
is,
environment.
Time is past. Yeah.
Would you guys get a
All right.
vasectomy?
No.
Yes.
Why?
No. Because
Well,
I
like,
just.
I would.
Okay, here,
but
let me
like,
be selfish for a second. Let me nut.
you can still nut.
It's just not for. It's like
I
shooting
want a
blanks.
kid. I want like.
I don't wanna
yeah,
shoot
I want
blanks.
like a
Like,
thing.
Do you think
with
I'm gonna
my-
own a shotgun and shoot blanks?
Yeah.
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 Because you can shoot it in the house. which is her cooch. You can just blow loads in your wife recklessly.
That was a very good
Yeah,
point.
very good.
That's it.
I,
Because now you can just, anytime you want to target practice, you don't have to worry about killing nobody, aka an abortion.
see,
There you go.
I gotta kill at least one person.
It's a dangerous game you playing.
Nigga.
But you can take it out by shooting the blank. You know, you cut your little snip, snap, just
So like after I want to be a dad. So after I have a kid,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
only
Yeah,
one.
especially because like
I want options. All right.
want four.
Maybe I want to be a dad twice.
They can put it
Maybe
back.
I want to be a dad.
Well, don't
twice.
don't snip your nut until you're like 40.
Just snip,
Because then
snap.
by that time,
yeah,
you're,
no, at like 40,
Just
like
let me keep it, man.
no. Just
Why?
man.
This is the Second Amendment, right to bear arms, aka
Right
bust
to
nuts in your
bear
wife.
children.
Yeah, I believe.
I would, but my personal choice would be to not because of like Frank's thing is just like if I get a kid at age 60, I got a kid like.
But then you have a kid like Theo Vaughn. His dad was 70 when he was born.
I don't want to.
That's some fucking Nicaraguan nut, dude. That shit's strong as fuck. They have babies until they're
That shit
How are
like
you
swims
still, like-
upstream like salmon.
Never mind.
yeah. I don't know. Shout out to Theo Vaughn though. What a guy. Anyway, no, I'm like after I have like 3 kids, I'm like, you know what? I can't keep doing
Any
this.
wrapping thoughts on
Crazy frog.
Crazy Frog, Axel F?
Just Crazy Frog Axel F predicted the
Everything.
AI overlord. It predicted a lot. It's
Because
I would consider
he was
it.
being chased by
Yeah,
Machines.
by robots, by machines. He's the only like biological thing there, except for the Elon Musk dude who just sits there and like presses the button, sending the robots. But like, he is the only thing perceiving reality, and because he is the only thing perceiving reality versus the robots, he's able to just ride that chopper, invisible chopper. Like, he's allowed to do whatever he wants because he's free. He's free from like the AI like tyranny.
Do you have something to say?
Yeah, I showed Josh Ghost in the Shell for the first time like last week, literally.
Right after
And-
the podcast.
Right after we finished the podcast, we just brought it. I was like, "Yo, you need to check this out," because he told me he'd never seen it. That movie is pretty spot on with a lot of predictions that it made for being the source material being written in like literally 1990, I think.
Yeah, this
It's dealing with issues
30
that-
years ago at this point.
it's like
Yeah.
philosophies
Doesn't that
that
blow your
we're
mind?
talking about now.
Oh,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have something to throw in there. Do you think that this new wave of like, oh yeah, he's like, this is bad, like sexism, racism, all this shit, like these are not like new things. Dice Clay was getting in trouble for this shit in like 1980. I think what the problem is that we were so young, we didn't notice this shit.
Yeah.
Perception has changed.
And now that we're older and people are discovering it, it's kind of like, it's always been there. But now
Right.
we know about it because we're older and we can understand
Perception
things.
has changed.
Yeah.
And what sucks is people, like you said, when we were younger, we didn't notice this stuff, but it's always been there.
Mhm.
And people have been speaking out against it for a while, and they've been getting in trouble. But because people refuse to accept the idea that maybe stuff happened in the past, and like maybe there are some things in the future that they can't control, they try to control it. Like they try to say, I'm fighting for what's right, but then they end up becoming like a Marxist and like, well, wait, no, we can fight for what's right without being communists. Like we can still do things. We have freedom. We have freedom of choice.
Yeah. Communism would work if people were perfect.
Yeah.
And like socialism too.
Anything would work
Like,
if people were perfect.
Everybody
Yeah.
wants to hate on
Anarchy
capitalism.
would work if people were perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's not how we're chimps who ate the mushroom,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
That's a conspiracy theory. Like they
What?
Yeah,
that's
have you ever heard of
because
that?
you know there was
Uh-uh.
like 20,000 years of like apes to then like pre-humans.
Yeah.
That growing in brain size. There's a couple different theories. One of them is that the receding and the veldt, like the African veldt, the trees were receding, making it more plain land, and monkeys were coming down from the trees and starting to like flip over like poop from different animals, where they would find psychedelic mushrooms, and then they would take that and then just become crazy.
humans.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's
because
one of
it-
the theories.
once again,
I'm not a
altering
super
your
big fan
perception.
of it. One of the theories that I'm more of a fan of is we started discovering cooked meat at that time. And instead of having to sit there and chew leaves all day or like even raw meat, we're able to get this much more nutrient dense food.
See, I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but there's always those hipsters who do DMT and they're like, "Oh man, the stoned ape theory." I'm like, just because like, like everybody wants to
Where it came
like,
from.
people talk about like, "Oh yeah, like the burning bush was Moses on mushrooms." I'm like, not everything's a fucking on mushrooms, you dumb fuck. Like sometimes shit just happens. That's why God is God,
I think you
and
gotta
not
do
a
mushrooms.
mushroom, you dumb fuck. Do you understand what I'm saying right now?
No.
You dumb whore.
No, I'm way too high, man.
See that like everybody wants to like everything is like explained by like drugs. I'm like that's not how it works. You fuck because think about it. In the world right now, there's like 40,000 people high.
No, dude. Like if I just did mushrooms, like
I'll excel my evolutionary process.
exactly, like I don't even need time because I can just experience all the time at once, and then like. I won't even need a physical body because I'll be so busy existing that I can just.
I'm so zoinked out of my gourd right now that I just understand everything.
Do you think Nikola Tesla took a fucking mushroom? Was
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
He did. There's no way that you're like, no, I'm gonna make a giant.
No, if you've ever had an inspired thought ever, that was because of mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what
Maybe that's why I'm not
something
where
I think
I'm-
is interesting. Like you bring up
That's why
Nikola
I'm so
Tesla.
uninteresting because I don't do drugs.
No.
If I just did drugs, maybe I'll have a good idea every once in a while.
I
We don't advocate the use of drugs, by the way.
No, you should apparently because you don't. If you want to have a fucking good idea, you want to build a car, fucking eat a mushroom. Just find any of them.
so the thing is that about Nikola
Dying.
Tesla,
Do not eat
I
wild
want to
mushrooms.
like.
Do it. You
No.
want to be the next human race? Eat a mushroom.
you'll die. Just don't go in the forest and find random
Feed
mushrooms.
chimps shrooms. That's the new campaign.
We gave the
I already
ocelotos
did that.
mushrooms, and
They're people now. They have Josh's phone number.
They speak sign
Mhm.
language, bro. With
They
the little
do.
fucking hands like this.
yeah,
I run all the theories around that, so everything that's not human but is a sentient being, I have their phone number.
Yeah. I'm sorry
that's
for
incredible.
cutting off about Nikola Tesla.
no, it's fine. So Nikola Tesla, like, just great innovators of any time. They interest me because, like you're saying, environment.
Mhm.
Well, let's take like the meta environment that we're in. Like we have our micro environment where like we're here in this room in the studio, but then there's the macro environment of like Earth and like that. But then there's just the actual environment in which everything exists.
The universe.
The universe. There's like a set of rules. There's a set of things that exist. Like there's a bottom to things. Like there's an atom. Like there's I guess even lower than atoms there's like quarks. Like there is a bottom to things.
There's an end.
There's an end. And with people like Nikola Tesla or like just great innovators in general, they're able to like Lego pieces put these things together in such a way to where they create like literal magic.
Well, that's why fractals are so interesting.
Mhm.
Is because they kind of show the structure of everything.
Shout out to
Because
Mandelbrot.
It's just an eternally looping pattern.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting way to show how things are made. Like, it is just a collection of tiny little atoms that create everything.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that we each generation of people get like one amazing like innovator? Like our grandparents had.
Please don't say Elon Musk.
No, I'm not. I was going to say that for us. Cause okay, listen.
No,
Well,
listen.
he
So,
really
like,
does push
he's
the...
okay.
Yeah, Elon Musk is pretty sweet, but like just
there-
wait, I'm coming.
There's
But like they have.
there's other innovators, especially now.
Mhm.
Like there's this new it's called it's a fusion reactor,
Mhm.
and this thing it will basically create infinite energy that they're
Well,
making right
if
now.
we
in France.
figured out
It-
fusion.
They
France?
yeah in France.
Yeah, in France.
They're making it right now.
Well,
And so-
they already made it, but right
They-
now the only way they
haven't
can
put it together yet. They haven't at all.
So it's
you're-
nothing.
It's not
what
the
you're-
particle accelerator or
idea.
anything like
It's,
that.
it's nothing.
It's
Shut
Well,
the
they,
fuck up.
they haven't put it together yet because they haven't figured out fusion.
Yeah,
Once if whoever figures out fusion,
Dude, they
Alright.
they have a theory, and that's why they're building that right now.
Mhm.
They have like, if this works, there is infinite energy. So like they already have they had the math that theoretically works,
Mhm.
and they're just trying to put it in practice.
Mhm.
That's what they're doing right now, but
that would be sweet if we figured out fusion.
because if you don't know what this is, it's basically they put particles inside this donut shape reactor, and they use magnets to accelerate them to supersonic speeds.
So fast where they become plasma, right?
When they become plasma and they start fusing atoms together and basically making a contained sun inside this reactor, using using hydrogen.
So this is where like my political theory and like just knowledge theory in general comes in. Is a lot of people like Elon Musk or like just high scientists, they're going at it from like the top down. Like he's trying to make Starship, like he's trying to explore the universe. He makes Tesla. Like just look at a Tesla. It's very expensive, but it's very high tech. Like it's cool. But the buy-in for that is really high. And the issue for me is there's a lot of people who can input into our sort of collective knowledge to figure out things like fusion easier, but we don't focus on the little guy. So like for me, I grew up South Valley. So like I had like terrible schools, not a lot of, education really. And even like my parents, they couldn't help me out that much with school. But like I've always liked school. I've always liked education. I've liked learning things just because like things are interesting. Like just looking at a plant, it's like, shit, dude, that's a full ass thing.
That's
like,
this
Why
made
don't
a
we
bunch of
just invent some
cells.
shit?
Well, so my idea is like if we could get education, like actual education, not like how modern education is set up to where it's just to pass tests to memorize the next thing. If we can set up actual people understanding concepts of how our material reality works, that would give a lot more people the buy-in to participate in those type of
Just microdose the kids.
No, Zach, let's just start inventing shit, bro. We can do backyard science. It's really like
there is something that I'm trying to invent.
I'm trying to build a car right now, but the thing is, I'm retarded. So
I've given you my plan for a car like plenty of times.
see, all we have to do, bro, is just figure out how to get Halo 3 plasma guns, right? First step that, next step profit.
Yeah.
You know the best part about the Halo 3 plasma guns? They don't even reload.
That's fusion. Like that's
fusion.
basically the idea.
No, I mean they expend the battery and they just throw the whole thing away.
Yeah, that's
Kind
kind
of
of.
wasteful.
I mean, yeah, but there's so much of the universe. You can
They're
pollute
aliens.
everywhere.
Why do I care?
You can pollute the whole universe, and they'll be like, "Oh, why are you doing that? Fuck you. There's infinite
There's
space.
infinite, yeah.
Like you think my little fucking trash bag
Here's
matters?
something to throw like a. It is a lot of nothing. Space is just
Space is terrifying.
vast, absolute nothingness. Like for as expansive as it is, and how many planets there are, and billions and billions and billions of stars, the distance between those stars is insane.
And it's constantly
And you know
increasing.
what's in between that? Nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
Albert,
like,
people have a hard time
absolutely
understanding nothing. Like
yeah.
But
Like
that's
here's how I describe
matter.
space. Okay, you can conceptualize a football field. You know how big that is. You know how big that looks. If you've ever seen a football field, you understand that. Okay, now think about 2. Okay, now think about 10. Okay, now think about 1,000. Okay, now think about 10,000. Think about 1,000,000. Think about 1,000,000,000. You, as a human being, cannot comprehend the size of that. You understand the number that's attached to it, but you cannot wrap your head around or comprehend the magnitude of something that huge.
unless you take mushrooms.
Yeah, because then you can just simply.
Then you could just be it. Yeah, you could just be it.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm gonna be a
The
billion.
football field.
I'm infinitely expanding.
So like think about how big like a football field is. Now think about 2.
And then now that's me.
And now that's
No,
me.
I don't know if this is true or not, but like Albert
Look at all
Einstein
those
like
explain
theorized that if we discovered like warp speed, we also unlocked like time travel.
Yeah.
Because like he said, there's like time and space or whatever is like a fabric, which is kind of weird because I think that what we can do is take the fabric of time,
But yeah,
make
wormholes
clothes.
are really interesting.
Yeah.
We
Make
can make
That would be the
clothes, make-
freshest shit
Yeah,
ever.
you're like, oh yeah, you want some fucking time and space continuum fabric, bro? This shit don't even.
I'm literally wiring the
Well,
galaxy.
Could
right?
you imagine
That would
like
be
wearing
insane because
something?
you would reach for him and your hand would just like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we have to do is discover warp speed, which I think we can do because
Well,
listen,
warp speed is interesting because like imagine just existing outside of time.
let me tell you how to do it. Right? all right. Yeah. Hear me out. This is about to be the most scientific knowledge you ever heard from me. All right.
All right.
So we're already working on the fusion technology, right? So what we have to do is like after we figure out how to make the things turn into plasma, right? So what we have to do is get an atomizer, whatever that means, right? So we have to become the actual particles that are, you know, I don't know what the word is, but so then and then now we just fucking shoot, right? Like
he's actually onto something.
Yeah, no, but listen, we have to figure out how to what's that word? Like disintegrate and then redisintegrate. Right, because
atomize and reatomize.
So atomize ourselves, and then we can go into the future.
But you're kind of getting into
then you have to start asking the question of like what composes a human being, and
right?
and
now you're getting into like the AI.
Yeah.
Okay, but
now we're getting into Ghost in the Shell.
Now we're getting into AI, right?
Like what is a human?
Elon Musk is literally figuring out how to do Neuralink, right? He can download our consciousness.
Dude, I cannot wait for kids in 2050 to be playing Fortnite in their sleep.
But listen,
that is crazy.
It's gonna be like
listen,
even crazier than that.
We don't have to take our physical beings into warp speed. That's why we download.
We
download the
like,
consciousness onto a vessel that can be atomized and then reatomized back at the destination.
Yeah, I'm
telling you, I'm fucking smart.
That's the theory that's already out already.
Yeah. You actually surprised me.
Yeah, I take back my laugh. I'm sorry.
Because I'm telling you guys, I'm actually a fucking genius.
Because they're talking about
genius.
They're talking about how they're gonna do space travel, like long distance space travel, instead of the previous theory was cryo sleep. We'll freeze them and we'll send them out there for millions of years.
But
now what they're saying, we'll download our consciousness onto a ship, onto a hard drive, send us out there for millions of years, re-upload it onto like a droid, and that will be the scientist that went out.
Well, you've heard the term like singularity, right? So like when we're talking about time earlier and our different consciousness existing all in the same time and space, there is the point where they're all going to be on the same track.
Listen, with warp speed, we discovered time travel, right? So we can actually listen.
Stop.
So we can listen. Don't hear me out first because you'll be surprised.
Hear me out first. Don't fuck with time travel.
No, but listen. This is okay. Look,
paradoxes.
There's infinite possibilities in the universe. The guy Doctor Who figured that shit out when he killed Thanos. So listen.
Did you say the good doctor?
No, that's
Doctor Who.
Keep up.
Yeah, keep up.
Doctor Strange. But
okay, whatever. Fucking, I don't know who the fuck his name is, but listen, he figured this out in the Avengers. So we could actually become. So if we download our consciousness, right? By the time that shit gets to wherever it needs to go, millions and millions of years from now, that can only be like a few seconds of.
It'd be no time.
Yeah, it could actually be no time because the time in fabric can be.
You'd be existing outside. Yeah. There would be no time.
So with that technology, it can go out there for hundreds of thousands of years. Time travel. You come back. Boom. Now you have millions of years worth of knowledge at your fingertips, and we're still chimp brains. So now,
or you could just do mushrooms.
This is what I'm saying is like it's even more than that. Yeah, you could just do mushrooms. It's more than that because there's going to be a point where like your consciousness exists multiple points in the universe because it's infinite. What happens when we're able to download our consciousness or like condense it, like immaterialize or dematerialize like us?
But that is such a crazy thing because like if you're looking at this from like a religious perspective, especially, like what constitutes a human being?
Yeah.
Is it the fact that we have our body? Is it the fact that we possess the ability to think on a higher level than anything else? Is human consciousness just essentially the collection of memories that we have and the ability to retain that?
What I think is interesting about that is like the idea of pain, and like we as humans desperately try to get away from pain, but a lot of our meaning and like purpose is almost derived from pain. Like you can't really have a reward without that risk of something not being there. But then, like, again, we don't know. Like, when you get back into the religious idea and, like, the idea of God being incomprehensible or the idea of heaven being incomprehensible, of, like, an incomprehensible paradise, I don't know. Like,
then you have to take into account with this. If you're religious, you have a soul, right?
Yeah.
So if you download your consciousness, does the soul follow? then if it doesn't, what happens to it?
I can't imagine myself
Right.
without a soul.
Well,
You know what I
like,
mean?
The way that I
exists? What
imagine
comes
soul
from it?
is our ability to perceive, like is our experiencing in real time. Because if I'm existing somewhere else but I'm not experiencing it, then there's not really a point to that existing.
Then it brings up this too. Say we have a human being, right?
Mhm.
Then we cut them in half, make them half cyborg. They're cyborg now.
Mhm.
This technically you'll think they're human, right?
No.
They have a soul, but the other half they made another cyborg with the other half.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just make it two souls, or
So
did you
you're telling me
just split it
that they made a person
out
out of another person?
Yes,
Gemini Man.
but
I don't.
but after that, say you make these two souls, right?
Mhm.
So you had these half operating people that have consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
You put the flesh back to the flesh, and you put the metal to the metal. Did you just create an artificial soul within that drum?
Well, right, and then that gets in the idea of like AI, like us creating new life.
Well, that was
and then-
essentially the movie Ghost in the Shell. That's what they did in
Right.
that movie. They take two consciousnesses, one is artificial and one is organic, and they said, "What happens if we mix these two?
and then like what?
What comes of that if we just merge?
Yeah,
those?
what happens
Like,
when
what
we
is the
create
result?
life?
Mhm.
Like,
I don't think you can ever I don't think you can ever create a soul.
But
Because matter, they can literally weigh the weight of your soul. Like after you die, you lose like a couple whatevers. Matter cannot be created or destroyed, right? So maybe, hear me out. The souls, quote unquote, that can inhabit AI, could be ghosts. Because there's
Kids
plenty.
see
The
ghosts
people in
sometimes.
purgatory. If you believe in purgatory, like there's a lot of souls in there. They could just sneak back up,
no,
and that will take.
okay, I'm gonna
But
take a
it
shot at
well,
the
now
Catholic
you're kind of
Church
getting
real
into
quick.
like the
Fuck
idea of reincarnation, like of people being
Yeah.
able to inhabit a new
Do you think
like
that
host.
people could reincarnate?
No.
But on the infinite timeline, though, because now we're
So if that's real, say like inhabiting a new
This episode is very esoteric.
Yeah.
We have like so many high level
So-
concepts that are just all.
Dude,
so
like, this-
I don't want-
if you inhabit a new
If you've gotten to this point, like congratulations.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we don't want dumb people listening to us,
Yeah.
really. Like if you're dumb, just kill yourself. Like
so if you can inhabit something else, right?
uh-huh.
What's saying that you can't control your soul to inhabit an inanimate object?
Are you talking about astral projecting?
that's what a lot of people do. They're like, "I'm fighting. Go vote. Fuck you."
They're like, I was at a music festival and I just.
So like, let's go back to that cyborg theory with that droid,
Uh-huh.
that droid with the second soul. Say if that broke and the container is cracked, is cracked, could it actually reach out and grab other inanimate, like can it grab this can and make it part of its part of itself?
Well, yeah, because there's like a whole theory about. I think it's called like Greystone theory. It's something about like inanimate objects can become possessed. Like there's like this box in Vegas. It was like the most haunted item in the world because like the
Annabelle
ashes.
doll?
No, the ashes of like a demon possessed woman was like buried in that box, and now like it's like, but that could be real. Like it could be actually be possessed, or it could just be like the humans like making more of it, like making more of something than it really is. Just like like a memory. Like you hear this and you process it in a certain way.
People
So
absolutely
here's
love
the scarier part.
to see things where they're not. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
We try to recognize patterns where there are none. That's
And-
just what we do.
That's the scary part is what if you go into, AI or whatever and you're just dead. Like you're no longer able to experience it. So you may still exist as maybe something of like me, but without me inside of me.
Persists, but the soul dies.
Right, exactly. So like where would I go at that point? It could just be, death or whatever, but like that's still a scary thought of just nothingness.
An even scarier thought is, at what point are you playing God?
Right.
Yeah. I think.
Well, that's like the whole idea of like making a new soul,
Yeah, that's
like a new soul.
Yeah, that's even now, dude. Like even with like Neuralink scares the shit out of me.
Neuralink is
That's
absolutely-
terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, I hate the fact that our information is being sold and traded to begin with. Now imagine something that's actually within you.
Mm-hmm.
That is
What do
terrifying.
you guys think about Kavinsky,
I don't even know what that is.
Kavinsky.
the Unabomber?
What did he? I haven't heard his.
Kaczynski.
Oh,
Kavinsky's like a EDM artist.
How is it?
Kavinsky?
No, but
Kaczynski. Theodore Kaczynski.
Is that the guy who
Kaczynski.
what's the Unabomber?
Kaczynski.
Kaczynski.
Who did that? What's the Unabomber?
He was an American terrorist.
Anti-technology
Yeah.
and prim guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's retarded.
He's basically like
But,
our pursuit of technology is
our fatal
futile
flaw.
because it's our fatal flaw because we spend all this time like working jobs that we hate, doing societies that we hate just to pursue, this endless technological advancement. But in reality, what makes humans fulfilled and happy is just being able to survive, like being able to grow an apple and then eat that apple and then eventually, die like a natural.
That's
If you-
NPC thinking.
if you want to get religious, bro, like it all boils
No.
down to like
I 100% believe that we should 100% chase tech.
I don't
Because
know.
that tech, I'm
think-
a man of science, so
Icarus, man, don't fly too close to the sun.
Listen,
Don't fly too close
if you want
to
to get
the sun.
religious with the shit, right? Adam and Eve literally lived like the perfect life up until that bitch ate the apple, right? And then ever since then, they realized that like,
The forbidden knowledge.
we're naked.
Now,
right?
yeah.
So
Now
maybe
we know.
like some people don't like technology because science and religion almost never meet in the middle, right? So it's,
But they
They
meet
meet
a
in the middle
lot.
all
what are you
the
talking
time.
about?
they have scientific and religious theories that have proven each other.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but like
Most science
scientists-
is started from
Religion.
religion.
Yeah,
Because
but I'm
it's
saying
the
like
study of religion
No.
to see how accurate it is.
like the ideology of like science and religion are kind of different. Like because like science believes in the Great Bang. And then-
You're right in the sense that like
I actually don't know what I'm
they're
talking
like
about, so-
they're opposites. So like science views it from like
What we can
what we can observe
the perspective of man, whereas religion is
Of God.
of God.
right?
Yeah.
Of the opposite direction of it.
Like people who don't believe in religion, I'm like, okay, I understand like where you could be coming from, but like so much stuff is explained by the Bible, like the Tower of Babel. Like remember when they were trying they were trying to build like a tower up to heaven,
Yeah.
and then he knocked it down, and then everybody couldn't understand each other
well,
because
they started speaking different
the
languages.
when you start building something so big, just like now, like when you look at people trying to discuss American politics, we're so big and there's so many different aspects. Everyone's talking about politics, but they're not. They're talking about it from completely different angles. There's people talking about it from political philosophy. There's people talking about it just from anecdotal, like their own life experience. There's people talking about it from just I don't like that person. I don't like this person. I just want to play a game. And then like there are people that are on like even further than that, just like oh well, I just want to like murder people outside of government. And like it's just there's so many different aspects. To it that when we're talking about it, like you can talk about political philosophy, but then there's someone who like doesn't understand anything that you're saying. Like they don't understand that there's economics, that there's like a bunch of different things that go.
Again, it's a perception thing.
Right.
It's everybody has a different perception of the reality around them.
Right.
And why that concept is so difficult to grasp for like 90% of the population is just I don't get it.
Because-
like I
know that-
know you think differently than I do. I know you think differently than I do. I know our brains are wired differently. Get that. Get that in there.
some people just can't comprehend that because they're like, oh, my way or the highway, which is like the worst.
They're
way
like,
to look
how
at
could you
things.
believe that? Like
That's
you're so
actual
evil.
caveman mentality.
I was like,
That's actual caveman mentality.
yeah, that's NPC energy.
And
Yeah.
like, there's so many more, and like, there's so many of those people that just want to be like, it's my way or the highway. That like at a certain point, that has to be like a backup. So
That's-
like, have you guys heard?
Let me drop this
Okay.
real quick. 60% of the population does not exist.
NPCs.
Yeah,
60% of the population does not exist because they don't understand things.
yeah.
Do you
Dude, what-
believe
what-
in the simulation theory?
I don't.
Dude,
But I think it's
theory
very
fucks me
interesting.
up.
I
I think it's
fucks me up.
very interesting.
I think
Can I throw something in there real quick?
Sorry, Josh hasn't gotten a lot of time.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
The only reason that I kind of lean towards that simulation theory is because, all right, so we got our galaxies, then we got the local group, right? There's that one group that is surrounded by dark matter. If we left that, we'll never run into another local group ever, because the dark matter is
so fast.
We can't even perceive how we will even get that fast, you know. So I think the other local groups are other simulations and other universes. You know what I mean? That's my theory on it, is because it's expanding so fast. That's its way of keeping the simulations from touching each other. You know what I mean? From interfering with each other.
And like that, when people get like weirded out because they think that they can travel through space like infinitely, but there are boundaries. Like there are there are actual things that you can't like go through.
Yeah. Then let's like say we get to the edge of the universe, right? We'll never get there. But like what's on the edge, we'll never know. You know, that's just the end of the program.
Well, there's also theories that we're like basically a micro universe that exists within another larger universe.
That's what
As above, so below.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Crazy Frog going through micro universe or macro universes to the atom, where it's micro universes to even smaller to like infinite.
Sorry,
like,
I'm just making sure that like the
dog
CIA is not coming after us.
Dude, I hear the dog barking out there. There might be someone out there.
no.
It's the CIA.
They shoot Casey first.
Oh,
put her
Casey
down real quick.
Casey will protect us.
Yeah.
With the almighty eye rub.
Yeah.
Ew, let's
No,
go.
but like, do you want to know like what I was gonna say earlier was like everybody has my way or the highway. That's exactly how AI is gonna be programmed, because there's no individual thought. You know what I mean? So like
That's actually very true.
And it's gonna have a more like utilitarian thought of
Ted Kaczynski
needs
was right.
resources.
We are headed for annihilation.
But that's why I think before we ever get there, like the rapture's gonna happen. I thought I missed the rapture one time. I don't know if I told you guys that story.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, but
well, like
I think that we would.
What is the rapture? Like, what is ascending to heaven? Like, how is that going to translate into material reality? Like, how are we gonna experience that?
Honestly, I don't even think that we're gonna get that far in humanity before we blow each other up nuclearly.
That is the rapture.
That might be the rapture. Yeah. Like,
so
there's
because the Bible has to use metaphors to explain stuff that we can't understand.
Right.
And it's use of metaphors that keeps it relevant.
It couldn't
forever.
Yeah.
But with God, it could not be a metaphor. Like there's actually scientific proof back to the two things like colliding with like the Noah's Ark. Like if we're up here in the desert, we're 5,000 feet.
Yeah, and we find fossils of
Sea
fish
yeah.
and sea creatures on top of mesas.
Yeah. So like all of this is like if you were to
Are you okay?
You got shaky
He's
leg?
nervous about the CIA as much as I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're shaking
No,
your leg. I
I'm
thought you were
sweating
scratching
bullets.
it.
Oh no, I always shake my leg. Like my
okay.
leg is always shaking.
Like this is what underwater looks like after it dries up. Like where we live now, the desert is just under like dried up ocean.
Yeah.
So how can you explain that? Noah's Ark. It took them also, people used to live a lot longer back then. You know, because it's kind of strange. Because like I think Noah lived to like 1,000 some years.
I think it was like 900.
I'm a man of science.
I
So if there's no proof of people living that long,
But if you
show
well,
me
like,
proof,
hold
then
on.
I'll be happy.
Think about this: the food that we eat now is not natural
Okay.
at all. They didn't have medicine, and there was the only sicknesses you would get. You would just eat natural food, and you must have been way more nourished back then. Who knows how long humans can live with just all natural?
So
living.
like I'm a little bit in both boats because I'm a man of science, so I like things that are confirmable, but at the same time, experience is a very interesting thing, and just
Can I touch on him real quick?
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead, baby.
he says we might have had a more nutrient filled life during that time. Why did our now we're eating fake stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, now we are. But why was life expectancy back in BC so short?
well, some people think of like natural predators.
not only that,
But they still died
but-
around like 60. Not
Yeah.
60, but like in the 40s, 30s.
Yeah.
But that's when we just started, like, somewhere in between those two things, the earth was flooded, right? So all of mankind was wiped out, except for, or all animals, you know? I'm kind of fun. But listen, so anyway, we started manufacturing shit, you know? Like,
I'm talking about
discovered,
before manufacturing
like,
anything.
farming shit, though. Like, manufacturing our own stuff.
Agriculture is a seed grows from the soil.
Agriculture is
Yeah.
based.
The seed
Yes.
will grow out of the soil if you water it.
Yeah.
Period. No matter what it is.
I don't know.
It's not like we're using chemical water to.
I don't have a lot of good ideas that I just thought through. I'm telling you guys this right now. Like, I'm over here trying to sound smart and shit, but I'm actually fucking
We still have like
stupid.
10 minutes.
So,
No, we can just keep talking for a minute, bro. This is a good topic.
yeah.
Fuck it, let's do a 3-hour episode. I don't even need to go to work. Because I'm telling you guys, like, I know that I'm dumb, which is actually a good sign. Because, like,
Well,
Everybody's stupid in their own right.
yeah.
no, because if you think that you're smart and you think you know all things, you know nothing.
You know
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Because it's like a fire, right? So if you pull a match up in a dark room, it illuminates that much, and that's your scope of knowledge. If you make a bigger fire, you see like, oh yeah, this is a much bigger room. There's a lot of stuff I don't know. That's why geniuses always think that they're stupid, because they know that there's so much stuff that they don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like,
So you
It's
just in
like-
a roundabout way call yourself a genius?
yeah, and like I think that
Listen,
like,
he is thinking on a
Yeah,
different
yeah.
plane
You're
of
thinking like
existence.
10 planes
You're
ahead
not
of me.
even.
and
Get
also,
with the program.
like, also, I don't want to like
This
make
whole
I don't want to
podcast
seem
is
like I'm a
like that.
genius or whatever, because I really don't think I am. But like,
Well,
also,
you're
but
either
it's-
half retarded, half genius.
Yeah.
I'm half genius, half retarded.
yeah, but like
There
also
you go.
geniuses
Retarded in a shell.
geniuses don't do good in school. So if
So
anybody,
here's what we do. If we take the retard and the retard and combine them together in the genius and the genius and combine
you
them
get
together,
a politician.
what do we get?
A politician with the retard.
Yeah, and then a genius with Elon Musk. That's what you get. That's just
Get Elon
duality, man.
Musk's dog. Have you heard the stories about his dog?
I don't-
Stories about his dog.
So I was listening to his podcast and they were like, yeah, they hung out with Elon Musk and they're talking about his dog. He was like, it's the weirdest dog I ever seen in my life. Because he says that this dog, you know how dogs get excited when there's new people and they warm up? They said this dog just walks out and just stands next to them, just staring into space. And he's like, he says that he looks down and like it won't even acknowledge him. Like he'll pet it, won't even look at him. Just staring in the same spot into space the whole time.
It's because dogs become who their owners are.
He fucking lobotomized his dog.
Yeah, he just like dude, if we could like get like a deep.
Where do you
look
think
into-
Neuralink came from?
Yeah, dude, his dog's Neuralink. He's like, come on. He's like, I used to just think of bone and rock. Now I think of all things. You know, like now he's thinking about. He's like, how many bones are there in the universe? I can't even conceptualize. That. You know what I mean? He's like, there's no cars. Like there's spaceships.
This-
Like,
this-
hey,
He's, he's
you know what?
breaking down the structure of bone
shit, my bad.
into his head to where he can have perpetual bone in like.
He's like,
forever.
how can I make bones?
Maybe he just gave his dog mushrooms.
Can we stop the fucking mushrooms? We're moving on to DMT now. Because after you get that, that's when you start seeing the fucking pixels and the atoms.
No, I'm not.
I really do believe that we can actually invent time travel.
I think time travel is impossible.
I don't think that time travel works the way that we have
Yeah.
been engineered to think it
Right.
works.
That's
Yeah, but like, fact is stranger than fiction. You know?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we never know what can happen. Tonight, I might go home
Like,
and I
you
might hit
really-
a telephone pole. And then I just warp speed. And then, because there's infinite possibilities. in
Right,
this
because
thing
then
called
like
life.
you might wake up past the singularity. Like
We're time traveling right now. as
yeah,
speak.
we literally
Because-
are time traveling
yeah.
right now.
What I've said
That's
stands true as 100% fact.
yeah.
100%
Dude,
fact.
I'm telling you, I think that if I was like trained, if I like learned
If
how
you're,
to,
if you're educated,
Dude, if I learned how to read above like a third grade level, I would be so smart. I just need to learn how to read.
Then do
and I'm
it.
fucking good, bro.
Well, then do it.
Dude.
I don't want to because I'm scared of myself. Because like
I'm scared but I'm capable.
This is his untapped genius telling
Yeah.
him, dude, if you learn, you will become so much more
It's
than
all-
we realize.
Have you guys seen Akira?
no.
Well, like part of the whole thing is like the main character Tetsuo, he's given like psychic abilities to where he's able to like control things with his mind and then also have just like extreme knowledge to the point where at the end of the movie he becomes like a giant like flesh monster just trying to consume everything because he knows all things and he's trying to like
That's
Yeah.
capitalism.
Did you know how to get like this little popcorn piece out of my teeth?
No,
Impossible.
impossible.
That's what like killed people back then when they were cavemen. They'd get like a piece of meat in their mouth, and then they would like try to get it out with their finger, but they didn't have sanitary stuff, so they would die of like dysentery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they didn't have toilet paper. They'd wipe their ass with their hands.
But they had popcorn.
Yeah. No, it would just make meat. Like, you know, like
I
they'd
don't
go
even think
to
they
a
wiped
zebra-
their ass, bro.
But-
I think they just shit and walked away.
That's so
Continue.
unnatural to wipe your to wipe your ass is so unnatural. You know,
Like
Because,
with your hand?
No, just to, like you.
no,
should
just don't.
shit.
Just shit.
And just because actually, if
No,
you
thank
think
you.
about it, you used to get
No.
cleaner breaks because you'd squat down, you know, and you'd be tip top magooey. You go chase a zebra.
You should,
No, there's a reason
you
I have a
should-
bidet in my bathroom.
You should go to India and tell me if your opinion on that changes.
Hong Kong.
They wipe their ass though. What we're saying is you
You are-
gotta transcend that idea of wiping altogether
No,
and just let
Absolutely
it
not.
flow.
no.
Just let it go.
This is the
No.
poopy team. You guys are
That-
the dookie team.
That's how you end up with infection in your asshole.
No.
Yeah, that's why you
No,
gotta
no.
go.
That's how you end up with the strong, hardy. So like my grandma used to leave mayonnaise out on the counter, just unrefrigerated,
What does this have to do?
and like she's never gotten sick in her life. So if you were just starting to shit without wiping, eventually you'd gain a tolerance to whatever diseases are down there.
How
You'd
did
have an
we-
iron asshole, just like you'd develop an asshole exoskeleton.
Dude, we
People-
we
listen.
really went from alternate universes, created souls, to fucking
Talking about poop.
talking about
This is the duality of man. All right, this is some shit that they can understand, and I understand. You know, because my little flame understands two things: poop and Marilyn Monroe got fucked to death.
Thank you for watching the Mudpit podcast.
No, don't wrap it up.
Well, I
still
feel
got
like
time to talk,
no,
bro.
I feel like we're reaching the end of
Yeah.
this one.
Bro,
Yeah,
we've only
we're talking about
we've-
poop. It's
okay,
an hour.
okay, listen. There's so many things in the world that we will never understand, right?
Uh-huh.
But one thing we all can come to the same conclusion is that Marilyn Monroe fucked reptilians. That's why they killed her.
Thank you for watching the
Thank
Mudpit.
you for tuning in.
I've been Josh.
I'm your host, Frank.
So like I know that crazy frog is amphibian, but that's close enough to reptilian. That's like amphibians are the enemy of the reptile.
That's Zach.
And I think that I can discover time travel.
And
I
that's
think
Angelo.
that this is Angelo.
I think no. Listen, like we just need to work on it.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, hold
We
on.
can-
Hold
we
on.
just build different.
We can make a part 2 if you guys want to continue this
If we
conversation.
want.
Yeah, let
No,
us
let's
know
do
what you
this.
think in the comments of this. If you make it to this
Yeah.
point,
Yeah.
are
If
you
have
poopy
made
gang
it,
or
thank you,
dookie
thank
gang?
you, thank
Are you
If you
poopy
want
gang or
part,
time travel?
if you want part 2, let us know. We've been the Mudpit. Have a good
We
day.
don't have to let them wait. We can talk about it right now.
I love you.
Dude, I'm serious, bro. I think that we can honestly discover it. Like, me and you should
No,
just do a
I-
series of background time travel. No, background scientist.
Well, like,
Let's discover some shit. Let's invent some shit.
Because
then they
I'll
will-
do a science
This
show.
is like a. This is like a. Like.
Are
remember,
we still
like the-
recording?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is
I,
an
I
audio.
feel like we're good. We're
Okay,
let's cut
Okay,
it.
well, just turn it off and I'll keep talking.
Yeah, you
This is an audio.
We'll see you
log.
next time.
Like, remember